Hi guys, so this video is about the coaching service that I'm offering, so just going to go through some of that with you because obviously some of you might be interested in the coaching side of things, or maybe you just want to find out a bit more about it. So as you know, I offer a one-to-one coaching service, so I go out with another person and we go out and approach girls. So there's kind of two sides of the coaching that I offer. So the one side is obviously the pickup focused coaching, so it's about the conversations with girls, how to stop the girls, how to engage with them, how to build attraction, all of that stuff. And then the other side of it is more the overcoming the fear side of things. So it's overcoming the social anxiety and being able to actually do the approach. So it's working on that. So there's two sides of it that I offer, and obviously they're both integrated. They both overlap to quite a large extent as well. So it's all one-on-one, and it's all very much practical. It's all out in the field. It's not sitting around with a tea just talking about it. It's actually going out and practicing it, going out and doing it. So the way it works is obviously we meet up in a public location, and I would hook you up with a wireless Bluetooth microphone, and then I can hear exactly what you're saying. So when you're out doing approaches or whatever, I'll be able to hear exactly what you're saying, and obviously I can then give you feedback afterwards. Essentially the training is structured in a way so that it's about taking kind of small steps towards the bigger goal, which would be overcoming the anxiety, being able to talk to girls that you find attractive in public, and ultimately getting success with women. So getting phone numbers, being able to actually engage with them so they actually want to reply to you, and eventually go out on dates. We'll go out together, we'll chat a bit about your background, and then we'll do we won't be approaching girls right from the very beginning. It's all a kind of a step-by-step gradual process to get you comfortable, first of all, to get you in a position where you're in a positive state of mind, where you're more socially lubricated to be able to go in and do approaches. So it's about kind of a gradual build up towards that point. And for most of the clients that I've had so far, a lot of it was about kind of just overcoming the fear. And then obviously when it comes to actually approaching girls, we're not focusing too much on getting numbers. We're focusing more on actually developing the core skills that you need in terms of opening, your body language, the openers, the things you say at the beginning, how to develop a conversation, how to not run out of things to say, how to actually build attraction, how to not avoid getting friend zoned too early. There's a lot of different little things you need to consider, but the training's designed to allow you to work on all these different areas. And that's the thing with training, is that you could spend hours and hours and hours doing this by yourself, but unless you know what your sticking points are, unless you know what your weaknesses are, there's a possibility that you'll just be making the same mistakes over and over again. Whereas if you've got a mentor, if you've got some sort of guidance, you can fast forward to a point where you become more proficient at a better rate. I didn't have any coaching myself. I just pretty much did everything through first-hand experience. I had a few kind of wings, I guess you could say, who kind of helped me out a little bit, but most of the time overall, I pretty much had to do everything by myself, learn by myself, do everything kind of by myself. But it's been I've been doing this for a while, obviously approaching girls for years, but obviously had I had mentorship right at the beginning, it would have obviously been beneficial for me. If you're kind of more of an advanced guy who just wants to elevate your game to the next level, I would say it's good if you can kind of self-reflect on your own progress. There's ways of recording yourself, either just by audio, or if you've got your mate who can record you when you're doing your interactions, then that's a really good way to kind of look at what you're doing and then think of ways you can improve by yourself. But if you don't have that luxury, then maybe coaching is for you. But again, I think that the coaching is primarily designed for beginners, just because it's difficult to get to a point where you've never done it before, to a point where where you actually think to yourself, hey, I can actually do this. So for the coaching, I charge £300 a day. I know it's not exactly cheap, but actually compared to a lot of the other guys who do similar sort of thing, some of them charge double the amount of money, and some of them, there are some good coaches out there, but there are an equal amount of really shit ones out there as well. So it's one of those things really. And yeah, so it's £200 for the day in London. You know, I'm not really stringent on the amount of hours. You know, I'm not, you know, clock watching the whole time. You know, I try to give a good amount of value to the clients that I've worked with, and yeah, have a, you know, really positive impact for the client. But yeah, the way to look at it really is that although, you know, £300 for the day isn't exactly cheap, it's pretty good value, because honestly a lot of the clients that I've had so far, they've told me that it's been life-changing, the coaching for them, just because it's given them that head start that they need to be able to actually go out there and just approach girls by themselves. Because obviously I know how difficult it is to be able to just go out in the public and actually approach girls. I've been there all myself. I've had to overcome all that myself. So, you know, I've got first-hand experience of you know, dealing with all of that. So yeah, I'm at a good place now with it. I can just go out, I can just approach girls, you know, however many I like, whenever I like, and it's, you know, it's a really great skill to be able to have. And you know, I really believe that anyone can do it. It's not like only certain people can do it, some people can't do it. Anybody can do it. That's the thing. That's the thing about this. Anybody can do it. Because, you know, if you're someone who sort of looks at the YouTube videos and sort of thinks, oh yeah, that's cool, but I can never do that myself, it's like, no, you can do it yourself, you just don't realize it yet. That's the thing. It's you know, if you're someone who thinks that you could never approach a girl out in public, then actually you can. And if you're someone who's maybe looked at the coaching or whatever and sort of thought to yourself like, oh yeah, that's cool and everything, but it's definitely not for me because I could never do it. Well, actually it is for you, because the fact that you don't think you can do it is exactly why it's, you know, tailored for you. You know, people who don't think that they can do it, or maybe they're too fearful to do it, it's all about kind of overcoming the fear. That's what we work on when we're doing the coaching. So obviously the coaching is primarily based in London. I mostly do it in London. I do also offer it outside of London as well, so if you're not from London and you would prefer to do it in your own town or city outside of London, then yeah, I'm willing to travel up to wherever you're based in England. And also I'm also going to be expanding in the new year, so I'm going to be willing to travel around Europe and also potentially to America if you're based in America as well. So if you're based not in England, not in the UK, if you're based in Europe, then I'm willing to travel to your destination. Obviously it's going to be a bit more expensive, or actually, you know, a fair bit more expensive, just to cover the travel costs and the hotel costs that would be involved in that. And obviously the same applies for America, and I would obviously need a bit more notice than normal, because, you know, if you just wanted to book in London, you know, we could organise that for, you know, the next week, the next weekend, you know, as quickly as that. But obviously if it's, you know, more long distance, I'm going to need a bit more time. I'm going to be uploading some footage of me training a client, and so you can see a bit of what it's like, the whole you know, process of me doing a coaching session. So you'll see into that, it'll be quite interesting for you. So yeah, if you are interested in coaching, then you can either shoot me an email if you want to find out a bit more, check out my website, it'll be link in the description, and then you can also apply through the website, or you can just send me an email and then we can organise it that way as well.
The wicked try to justify to keep what they stole. It eats at their souls, guess they reap what they sow. Competing with your brother for the love of the dough. But we know we own nothing, so we claim it for show. Who got the guns and the gold? Who left us out in the cold? White wilderness I travel while in search of my own. It's why I'm flipping a poem like it was written in stone. It's for the children seeking answers to the question of home. This ain't no neo soul, even though it's subtle and slow. The political is personal, you suckers should know.